Welcome to Yeshiva Dav, your sponsor, Lunishvas Ambiak Shom Labasitzchok. We're holding Basra of Kufyu Tes. We're starting from the two dots, a few lines down in Amud Aleph, approximately 8 or 9 lines down. The more brings the Bnei Slavchot. One of the chalokim that they took was Shaya Bchor Noitel Shnei Chalokim. A Bchor takes double, and they took the double of their father. So the Gemara, Veimai Roihu, meaning the Bchor takes double, only what's right now under the hands of his father. But whatever is Roy to come later, he does take double. So why he took double? Now the Gemara really addressed it already in the beginning of the Amud. The Gemara just mentioned a few lines ago the Eretz Yisrael Muzekasi. But now the Gemara goes back to the beginning of the Sugya to get back to this point. So the Gemara starts with the question. It's Roy. Bchor doesn't take Baroi as Muzak. You're right. They didn't take double in Eretz Yisrael. They took double only in Metaltlim. Yeshiva Yisrael means the pegs that held down their tents. We're not talking about a real Metaltlim. And we're not talking about a karkar. We're talking about Metaltlim. The Rebbe says, why are we referring to the pegs of the tents? Because all of them had tents. Meisiv Rabo. Rabbi Yudo Imer B'not Tzlofcha Nondu Dal Chalokim. We just had a pasuk. The pasuk says the Bnot Tzlofcha took 4 pieces of land. Shemai Plu Chevle Menashe Asor. The Menashe's Chalokim fell 10. It was divided into 10. Here's talking about the karka. Elo Merabo Eretz Yisrael Muzekisi. Going back to the question, the answer we said before, Eretz Yisrael is considered to be already Muzak. It's already there. It's already theirs. It's not Roy. It's already under their chazak. So we may see Umar of Chidko said the following: Shimon Shikmoini really chaver mitalmidei Rabbi Akiva. Shimon Shikmoini was a friend of Talmidei Rabbi Akiva. This is, by the way, one of the places in Shas. Always, we know that Rabbi Akiva had 24,000 Talmidim. They all died, and then he came to Rabbi Seinu Shabbadorim. The Gemara in Yevamis tells us the list of Rabbi Seinu Shabbadorim, that they are the ones that were the Talmidim that were Ma'amid Toiru. And the list is, the Gemara is there. It says Rameir, Rabbi Yudo, Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Shimon, and the Shaila is who's the last one is Rav Lozman Shamor or Rav Nachmani. We spoke about in the Shur. But these are the 5 Talmidim. So always hear the question: what happened to the original 24,000 Talmidim? They all died. Do we have anything left from them? Is there any memory of them? Does the Gemara mention them? So here's one of the places the Gemara mentions a Talmid of Rabbi Akiva, which is not one of the 5 Talmidim. The Gemara says, I have a friend, his name is, Rav Chidka says, I have a friend, Shimon HaShikmoini, and he's from Talmid of Rabbi Akiva. So I would assume that person belongs to the 24,000 Talmidim that died. And there's something mentioned from him. What does it say? The Karka of Shimon HaShikmoini Yerdei Moshe Rabbeinu Shemnot Tzlofchot Yoshesem. Moshe Rabbeinu knew the Bnot Tzlofchot was supposed to inherit. He didn't know they take Bchor or not. The Rishonim discuss, what did he know? Did he not know that Eretz Yisrael Muzekes? Did he not know that a Bchor does not take Beroik Muzak? Something he was missing to Moshe Rabbeinu. So the Gemara, is because of the Moshe. Really, Moshe Rabbeinu should have brought that, like he brought the entire Torah. But there was a schus that Tzlofchos had to bring it based on them, came from them. Moshe Rabbeinu knew also the Mekoishesh, that's Tzlofchot, that's the one who cut the trees. There needs to be, he has to get Miso. He didn't know what's the miso. And you know, really should be written by Moshe Rabbeinu. The Mekoshes had a chiyuv, and therefore it was nichta based on him. What does it teach you? Meaning the someone who has a schus gets the schus, someone who has a chayva gets the chayva. The Mekosher did an aveiro, so the parsha of punishment is written because of him. And when Tzavcha did a mitzvah, they love the Eretz Yisrael so much, so their parsha of nachlas came through them. One thing just to mention, we're going to be more in the Shul Machshava, one of the Shul Machshavas in the staff, is what the Maharsha points out over here, the Mekoshish. What does the Mekoshish exactly do? Tosis will tell us that Tosis in Daf, Tosis over here, in Daf, the end of the Daf, Kurites on base, Tosis brings the name of the Medrash that the Mekoshish had in mind L'Shem Shemaim. What was L'Shem Shemaim? He may well thought, maybe after the Miraglim, that we're not going into Eretz Yisrael, so there's no mitzvahs. So came the Mekosh to show him there is mitzvahs, and a person who does Chilul Shabbos, he does get punished. So you have L'Shem Shemaim. The Maharsha already asked, as we discussed, that if so, it's Melocha Shein Tzich Legufo. It doesn't really need the wood that he's cutting. So why is he chayav? So the Maharsha points out the Maharsha says that's the reason he was able to do it. But then the first may ask, so why did he kill him? And this is a discussion that needs to be addressed. The Chassid Sofer brings the Torah's Moshe that that's why the parsha was written by Mekoshish, because he did L'Shem Shamayim. So, but that's not the mashmos of the Gemara. The Gemara says Chayvel di Chayav. Something bad happened through the Chayav. So maybe the Chassid means to say is he had L'Shem Shamayim, but L'Shem Shamayim was not right, because at the end of the day, even though he had his mindset of L'Shem Shamayim, he did something wrong. So the punishment came through him. But at the end of the day, there is Torah coming from this person that has to do L'Shem Shamayim. Meaning it's a chayva, but you have to have some schus, to have the Torah write something in your name. Something to think about. If you hold Eretz Yisrael belongs to Ham Yisrael, so what's the suffix of Moshe Rabbeinu? What is it? That's what the Gemara says clearly. That's exactly the suffix of Moshe Rabbeinu. We mentioned, we should already put that. Is the suffix is in Muzekes, or the suffix is what about the B'chor? What is it? That's the pasuk we mentioned earlier, that we have from here the concept of Yerusha by getting Eretz Yisrael. Yerusha lechem avosechem. It means the Yerusha you're getting from your parents, from your fathers, or meaning they just bequeath, but they're not Yerush. So the Rashbam says the second part is clear. Obviously, they bequeath, they're not Yerush, they're not coming into Eretz Yisrael. But the shaila is, what does the Tzaddikim Rosh refer to? Is they refer that it's also Yerusha for them? They already do have a chelik in Eretz Yisrael. They gave him for Sharai, they answered to both. Yerusha it is a Yerusha to them, so it's Muzekes. So what he did have a suffix, he got an answer. The Hayna Dichtiv says, so what it says over here, Merosha tells me it's not Yerusha, it's Merosha. They won't have chelik in it. But when it says the Am Yisrael, it's beginning of the hero before any chit, before chit the miracle happened. So you see over here, the Torah tells you the future, it's going to happen, even though it did not happen yet. And it goes into the question, there's a remiss that something will happen in the future. It says the more behind the thing, we find such a thing, it says in Shir Sayam, you're going to bring them, and you're going to plant them in Eretz Yisrael. Tevienu, not going to bring us. There is in their words nevuah, even though they didn't know what they're saying, but they made a mistake in their words to tell me the remes that they're going to find out later that the remes is they're not going to get there to so. Something more about so the Nostopha came and stood in front of Moshe, Elazar HaKohen, the Nisim, and all the Edo. Says the Gemara, meaning, I don't understand. They went to Moshe, he didn't say, then they went to the second command and the third command. Shai says that wasn't the order. The order was they went first of all to the Edo, then they went to Nisim, then they went to Elazar HaKohen, then they went to Moshe Rabbeinu. And why it says this order, says the Rashbam, just to give the proper cover. You say Moshe, because then they get to Moshe. They all were singing the same Yisraelish. They asked the question in front of all of them. What's Machlekes? You give cover to the Talmud when the Rebbe is there. So here the Rebbe is there. The Rebbe and the Talmud the same as Medrash. And they ask the question to both. You don't give cover to the Talmud in front of the Rebbe. So it's the halacha, cholkim. The halacha is you don't give. So the Gemara, kasha, yichaso. So how do we pass it? He says the Gemara, yichaso the kasha. Had the polig Rebbe Yikara, the polig Rebbe Yikara. If the Rebbe gives him covet, treats him with respect, then you give covet to the Talmud in front of the Rebbe. And if not, everybody agrees, don't give covet to the Talmud in front of the Rebbe. So the Gemara, I need to mention that reminds us of what it says, the Sforno brings, that Avidazor is Asor, as Avidazor is Asor. Why can you give respect to the son? The son is a Shamish HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Every king wants people to respect his servants. It says the Sforno, because let's look at the Pasuk. Lo yilcha Elohim acherim al ponai. Don't have other gods in front of my face. Because Baruch Hu is everywhere. When you mechabed the son is in front of his face, that's something which is not proper in front of a king. And by a Rebbe, it depends. They were very smart. They're showing you same. They knew how to darshan. And they were tzadekis. They spoke in the right time. Moshe Rabbeinu was darshaning Parsha of Yevon, of Yibum. That's what the pasuk says. We're boys. So give us a Yerusha. If not, why is our mother not doing Yibum? Why is the mother not doing Yibum? Because she has children. Is a girl considered to be a child or not? So they came to him in the middle of the sugi and says, based on what you're learning right now, we should get it. That's the Chachmanis, they knew when to ask. Says the Gemara, Miyad Yaker Moshe's Mishpat of Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu right away asked the question. Tashani Yosef was a drosha. Sharmim Eli Elo Ben Loidi Biden. If there was a son, we know that the son goes before a daughter. Fatanya Bas, if they had a daughter who went to speak, what does that mean? So Ishbal says the more is not even addressing it, right now the more doesn't understand what these words mean. Bas doesn't make any sense. Even if we had a brother and he wasn't here, but he had a daughter. We understand that the son comes before the daughter and the Yotzei Chalotza son comes before the daughter. Now there's not years about where is it coming? How do they know that? Because he says they knew Adarshan Basaben. And the Taisa says if Parshas Nachas wasn't given, so how did they know Adarshan? If the Parshas Nachas was given only based on their question. So the Taisa brings another pasuk. It's Chalta Moisel Livneicha V'lo Livneiseichem. Okay. Says the Gemara, Tzidkanu Yisraelim in the words of Tzaddikas, Shalanisu Elo Lehogun Lahem, they did not marry only someone who was proper to them. As we're going to see later, the Gemara is going to say that the Grotzavchot had the permission to marry anybody from any shevet. But they decided not to marry only somebody who was roy to them from their shevet. So continues the Gemara and says, they were 40 years old when they got married. They were 40. Right? So even though they were married, the one who was a hogan to them, and because the Gemara says they married their cousins. The Torah says, so they got married onto them, but they were waiting for the hogan lamb. This Pashup Shah means the cousins were too young to marry them before that. So that's why they waited till the age of 40. Says the Torah adds over here that this we mentioned before, the Mekoshes was their father. And the Mekoshes died in the beginning of the 40 years when the Meragim came back. And they did not get married until they went to Eretz Yisrael. So they were 40 years old. That's the Cheshire. Says the Gemara, Eini v'Omer Chiza, this is what I don't understand. Chiza said, one gets married before the age of 20. You're like this. She can have children until the age of 60. Bas Estrim, if she gets married when she's 20 or above, you're like this other boy, she can have children until the age of 40. Bas Arboim, if she got married at the age of 40, Shuv Eini, you're like this, she won't have kids anymore. So when they wait till the age of 40, they wouldn't not be able to have kids. And the Mitosh said, because they're tzadekis, and they knew they're tzadekis, so they relied on the nes, And the same way there was a nace that happened to Yocheved, happened a nace to them as well. They were able to have children even though they got married after the age of 40. What is the nace of Yocheved? Talk about Amram, that remarried Yocheved. Who is that? And the Gemara is going to explain. The Gemara goes on and says, she's 130 years old. You call her a daughter, a girl. She was born when Am Yisrael went into Egypt, into Mitzrayim. As they go into Mitzrayim, that's when she is born. She was born in Mitzrayim. That's part of the cheshbon, that when we count the Am Yisrael going into Mitzrayim, there's only 69 people, but it says 70. Who is the 70? One of the Perushim is it's Yocheved that was born as they go in. Now, if she goes in then, so how old is she when Moshe Rabbeinu was born? We know Moshe Rabbeinu was 80 years old in Yetzias Mitzrayim. And Am Yisrael in Mitzrayim for 210 years. So take out 210, take 80 out of it, it's 130. She was 130 years old when Moshe Rabbeinu was born. That was the nace. So when the Mari Korula Bas, why she's a Bas? She became a Naira again, a young girl. The flesh became smooth. The wrinkles went away. And beauty came back. The more goes on, it says they married her. He took her back. So it says the Gemara, he made as if another marriage. He put her in a chuppah. They're singing, Aaron and Miriam were singing in front of them. Call everybody Specho, she could be the mother of Moshe Rabbeinu. So when Amram goes and takes Yocheved back, so he remarries her. So that's a new parsha, a new marriage. And this, we spoke a little bit in Masechet Soita, what's the meaning in that? And this is what, that's the idea that's called Li'ikach, was as if he started a new marriage with his old wife. Okay, we're still going to, let's conclude this daf and continue from here in the next daf.